People will be drawn with their heart to a house like this. One of the sort of central tenets of modernism was this idea of form follows function, and I think this building is the epitome of that. There's no veneer to this building, there's no shrouding of it. It is what it is. It is unapologetically bold and strong and resilient.
This is really a beautiful home, and it's a very livable, luxurious home.
The beauty about great modern architecture is that it has all these functional things that it does, but then it has this very strong play of light. It has this lovely change of scale. There's this beautiful sequence of sort of compressed spaces, and then the spaces opening up and releasing, as architects love to talk about. There are all these beautiful thresholds where you sort of transition with a series of stairs or platforms, where it sort of creates all these different spaces and creates all these different experiences within one broader environment. And there are very, very few houses that do that in the way that this house does.
You live in a home like this, and there is a quality of life and a sense of enjoyment just being in the space that I think just continues on. What were your first thoughts when you came to this house?
When we came to it, we were both confronted with the sense of this incredibly iconic, incredibly beautiful piece of architecture that really spoke to what it wanted to be and what it was about, and its rules were very, very clear. That difference is characterized by these blockwork and concrete, and its heritage listing is a function of that architecture in the place of Brisbane culture, as one of, I think, only 2 homes in Brisbane that actually heritage listed under those conditions. I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and as we sit here now, it's certainly one of our favourite houses that we've ever done.
The thing with Sean is that he always nails a floor plan. Hands down, he's one of the best in town when it comes to family floor plan friendly homes. So fundamentally, this house works in a very simple format. You come through the front door, you've got all your living, kitchen, dining, multiple deck areas opening onto a garden on your first level. Upstairs, you've got the master bedroom, secondary bedroom, ensuite, bathrooms, robes, etc. And then downstairs, you've got the secondary living area, another 2 bedrooms, bathroom, and then opens out and extended onto the pool.
It's almost a kind of series of courtyards inside and outside, and you start with courtyards on the street that sort of open out to the street, and then there are ones that sort of turn away from the street, and then you come into the house and there are little internal ones between kitchen and entry sequence. And then even as you go downstairs, the driveway area is actually a beautiful court in its own right. And then the swimming pool is another one which then opens up again and has this lovely sense of extroversion. The materials we've used to kind of tie it together really are just cues from the original home. So the mixture of all the kind of mission browns and things have all become blacks to just tie all those elements together. And then all the sort of joinery and the furniture in the house, all these beautiful American oaks which bring that warmth into the house.
Because there's nothing about this house that suggests that you have actually done an extension to it.
Predominantly, most of the building work was taking what was here and just quite gently kind of redefining how some of those spaces presented. I think what we've also been able to maintain is this incredibly strong language of architecture in this building. It's a very expressive building, all the floor structure is exposed, beautiful timbers, and then you've got the underside of the flooring above. Now you get the benefit of that architecture, that history, of that clarity. It's a house in an extraordinary location. Teneriffe Hill is, I think, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most beautiful locations in the city. Its orientation down to the northwest through and over the sort of gully that drops way below the site gives you a beautiful long vista. This precinct is just a rare mix of inner city convenience, lovely green environment where you sort of feel like you're almost in bushland in the middle of the city, and then certainly in this instance you get all these lovely long views.
Stephen Clegg's garden on this home is almost as iconic as the house itself. When you add in things like those mast trees and the creeping frangipani vine, and as you walk down the entranceway, they've got those asparagus ferns, which are very soft and tactile.
And I think it's the contrast between extremes that make it interesting and that make it rich. Parts where the landscape sort of takes over the building, where the building sort of grounds itself, and then there's parts where the landscape lets the building breathe.
It's all very complementary and it's incredibly considered.
It's a privilege to be able to be a part of this history, and it's a privilege to be able to share a house like this.